Lesson 3 for January 11 through 17, From Mystery to Revelation, read by Dr. Percy Harrold. Wednesday, January 13, The Image, Part 2. Question. Read again the dream and its interpretation in Daniel 2:31-49. What does this teach us about God's foreknowledge of world history? You, O king, were watching, and behold a great image. This great image, whose splendour was excellent, stood before you, and its form was awesome. This image's head was of fine gold, its chest and arms of silver, its belly and thighs of bronze, its legs of iron, its feet partly of iron and partly of clay. You watched while a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on its feet of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed together, and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away, so that no trace of them was found. And the stone that struck the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth. This is the dream. Now we will tell you the interpretation of it before the king. You, O king, are a king of kings, for the God of heaven has given you a kingdom, power, strength, and glory. And wherever the children of men dwell, or the beasts of the field and the birds of the heaven, he has given them into your hand, and has made you ruler over them all. You are this head of gold. But after you shall arise another kingdom inferior to yours, then another, a third kingdom of bronze, which shall rule over all the earth. And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron, inasmuch as iron breaks in pieces and shatters everything. And like iron that crushes, that kingdom will break in pieces and crush all the others. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's clay and partly of iron, the kingdom shall be divided. Yet the strength of the iron shall be in it, just as you saw the iron mixed with ceramic clay. And as the toes of the feet were partly of iron and partly of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly fragile. As you saw iron mixed with ceramic clay, they will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not adhere to one another, just as iron does not mix with clay. And in the days of these kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people. It shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms. And it shall stand forever. Inasmuch as you saw that the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great God has made known to the king what will come to pass after this. The dream is certain, and its interpretation is sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face, prostrate before Daniel, and commanded that they should present an offering and incense to him. The king answered Daniel and said, Truly, your God is the God of gods, the Lord of kings, and a revealer of secrets, since you could reveal this secret. Then the king promoted Daniel and gave him many great gifts. And he made him ruler over the whole province of Babylon, and chief administrator over all the wise men of Babylon. Also Daniel petitioned the king, and he set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel sat in the gate of the king. The prophecy conveyed by Nebuchadnezzar's dream provides a general prophetic outline and functions as the yardstick with which to approach the more detailed prophecies of Daniel 7, Daniel 8, and Daniel 11. Also, Daniel 2 is not a conditional prophecy. It is an apocalyptic prophecy, a definitive prediction of what God foresaw and would actually bring to pass in the future. 1. The head of gold represents Babylon, which lasted from 626 to 539 BC. Indeed, no other metal could better represent the power and wealth of the Babylonian Empire than gold. The Bible calls it the Golden City in Isaiah 14:4, and a golden cup in the Lord's hand in Jeremiah 51 verse 7. Revelation 18 verse 16 reads, And saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen, purple and scarlet, and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. The ancient historian Herodotus reports that an abundance of gold embellished the city. 2. The chest and arms of silver stand for Medo-Persia, which lasted from 539 to 331 BC. As silver is valued less than gold, the Medo-Persian Empire never attained the splendour of the Babylonian. In addition, silver also was a fitting symbol for the Persians because they used silver in their taxation system. 3. The belly and thighs of bronze symbolise Greece from 331 to 168 BC. Ezekiel 27:13 portrays the Greeks as bartering bronze vessels. We read this in Ezekiel 27:13, Javan, Tubal, and Meshach were your traders. They bartered human lives and vessels of bronze for your merchandise. Greek soldiers were noted for their bronze armour. Their helmets, shields, and battle axes consisted of brass. Herodotus tells us that Psammethicus I of Egypt saw in invading Greek pirates the fulfilment of an oracle that foretold men of bronze coming from the sea. 4. The legs of iron aptly represent Rome from 168 BC to AD 476. As Daniel explained, the iron represented the crushing power of the Roman Empire, which lasted longer than any of the previous kingdoms. Iron was a perfect metal to represent the empire. 5. The feet, partly of iron and partly of clay, represent a divided Europe from AD 476 till the second coming of Christ. The mixture of iron with clay provides a fitting picture of what happened after the disintegration of the Roman Empire. Although many attempts have been made to unify Europe, ranging from marriage alliances between royal houses to the present European Union, division and unity have prevailed, and according to this prophecy will remain so until God establishes the eternal kingdom. This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind and Hearing Impaired, Christian Record Services for the Blind, the Sabbath School Department and Hope Channel. You can also listen on the official Sabbath School 4 app and the Apple iTunes app Sabbath School with Percy Harrold. Remember, God is always faithful.